Hello guys, my name is Troy. Welcome back to my booktube channel. Today, I'm going to be reviewing the Hunger Games series, which might just be my favorite dystopian yet. So, hi guys, I recently just reread the Hunger Games series, and just 1 week ago. It was so good. I have so much thoughts that I want to talk to you guys about. And for spoilers, how I'm doing it is I will talk about non-spoiler review of the first book. The next two books I'm going to do spoilers, so I'll have a timestamp in the description when I finish talking about non-spoiler stuff for the people who haven't read the series. I will leave a timestamp so that you can go to the overall series thoughts in the ending of the video. So I'll talk about non-spoiler thoughts for Hunger Games, then the people who haven't read it can leave and go to the end of the video. Then I'll do spoilers for this book, and then these spoilers for this book, because I really can't talk about spoilers for these two books without it like spoiling the first book. Like, I'm just gonna do that. I also want to thank you guys so much for the support that you've left me over the past couple weeks. Last week we accumulated a total 106 hours of watch time, which is my second highest week. Thank you guys so much, and I really appreciate it. I appreciate the support and all the comments that you guys leave. If you're excited for my review, my thoughts on Hunger Games, make sure to like this video, subscribe to my channel for more bookish content, and leave a comment down below on what you thought of the Hunger Games series, because I'd love to chat with you guys. Alright, let's get into the first book. Alright, so let's talk about some non-spoiler thoughts for the first book, and I'll kind of introduce you guys to the world or refresh your memory if you haven't read it in a while. But we are set in this dystopian society that is like a futuristic world from America. So basically it's like I think like 100 years after North America or whatever, there is this place, and there's 12 districts around this one booming capital. The capital is this really menacing society to the districts, and each year they make each district to put one girl and one boy into a drawing for the Hunger Games, and that girl and boy must compete against the other districts. So there's 24 people in total, and they fight to the death for the capital's entertainment. So this book follows this girl named Katniss Everdeen, who volunteers for her sister as tribute. After her sister gets picked for the Hunger Games, she has to navigate the Capitol and the Hunger Games, has to win. So it's a really interesting story. The way Suzanne Collins writes, her writing is so amazing. I love it so much, because she's able to weave in past memories and into like the current events, and it's so amazing just to see Katniss just being portrayed and developed as we see the past Katniss and the present Katniss, as well as just her fight and Katniss's personality. She's an amazing character, and just the whole concept with the districts and the capital, it's such a great start to an amazing series, and it's just able to be built upon, you know, over and over again. And Suzanne Collins is able to open up so many plot holes so that like she can fill them in with the later books. And there's so many amazing characters, so much amazing world building. Like, there's so much thought gone into this, and I can't even tell you guys how much I love this so much. And just seeing like kind of like the modern technology in it as well. Like, there's a bit of like a sci-fi aspect with like all of the different like mechanics. The game makers are making the Hunger Games, you know, like difficult, and they're doing all kinds of crazy technological things. Katniss is really struggling. She's hungry, she's poor. Like, getting a perspective from that is like really eye-opening too. So I really enjoyed the series. And I will say, like, about the Hunger Games, it was really interesting, really engaging, like probably the best part of the books. But I also really like the political aspect, just learning about this world and how Katniss plans to take it down. And you know, it's just amazing seeing her fight and her romantic relationship with Peeta. It's really amazing, and I just definitely encourage you guys to read this if you haven't already. And I think that's gonna wrap it up for my non-spoiler thoughts. So if you want to go ahead and exit this part of the video, go to the timestamp in the description called or I'll have like overall general series thoughts, where I'll talk about my whole thoughts on the series in non-spoiler fashion. So yeah, definitely go click on that timestamp and go travel to that end of the video. But I'm going to talk about spoiler thoughts. But yeah, okay, so now we're talking about spoilers. I don't have much spoilers to talk about this book. I really loved in this book, the only thing that I really have to talk about with spoilers is just as soon as Katniss pulls out those berries, she's starting a rebellion, and I just loved seeing that in the next few books. Seeing her evade that, seeing her like go through the politics, and just like being the first, you know, 2 people to win the games. She's just setting all kinds of boundaries and like achievements and accomplishments, and it's really cool. Yeah, I don't have anything to say about spoilers. Oh, Rue's death, that was so sad. That was tragic for me. I hated that so much. Just Rue in general, like, why did they have to make her go into the Hunger Games? And then anything other than that, you know, Peeta and Katniss, they had a little action going on, and yes, I shipped Peeta and Katniss from the beginning. Why would I ship Gale? And I think that's it. So let's get into my thoughts on catching Fire because I'm done with talking about Hunger Games. Alright, so as you guys know, if you read the series, Catching Fire is basically after the first Hunger Games, President Snow visits her house and tells her that people are rebelling, and Katniss starts learning of all these uprisings, and she's starting this whole war against the Capitol, basically, and so she is instructed to go out on her victory tour and basically calm people down, make everyone believe that Peeta and Katniss are in love. After she does that, there's a surprising announcement that the quarter quell for this year means that the tributes from the past Hunger Games are going to be reaped from their districts and go into the Hunger Games again. So Katniss is thrown into the Hunger Games again with Peeta, and there is this whole interesting dynamic, a whole rebellion starting underneath Katniss's eyes, and it is just so amazing. I love this book so much. It's my favorite book in the series. I gotta say, I love it so much. I love the arena. I love everything. But yeah, we'll delve into all my thoughts. So first thing that I want to say is about like the politics of this book. Like, I actually liked the politics in this book. Like, I don't normally like learning about like the government and the rulers and leadership and stuff, but this book had me so hooked, and I was so invested in what Katniss was doing to take down the Capitol. Like, I just really enjoyed that, and I just loved hearing like the uprisings. People are actually going to be able to do something to overthrow the Capitol. Like, I've never really seen a book that's like the people are actually trying to like overthrow the government, so this was really cool. And just seeing how Katniss evolved into the Mockingjay was so amazing, and just seeing how she started to like, you know, become her own person, because she always had to put up an act or put up a wall, but as soon as she like got hit with a quarter quell, she was like, I'm done, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna fight for myself. And it was great. And I also really liked how she had that attitude to come in and like save Peeta. Like, that was so cute. But I did not like the whole Gale thing. Like, that's a love triangle that we don't need. I don't know why she would ever like Gale. I never was interested in Gale, basically, and you know, we're about to talk about Gale in the third book, and no, Gale is a no. And I just feel like the whole like whipping thing, I just did not like that part of the book where like Gale got whipped and whatever. He got whipped and he got nay-nayed. He got whipped, and he got nay-nayed. Anyways, he got whipped, and then she had to put ice on him, and they kissed River. But just seeing like how Katniss was like had to be broken, but she also rebuilt herself and her defiance. She's just an amazing character, and I loved following her. And just like the kind of angst and the suspense and the tension with President Snow visiting her house and basically telling her that she needs to change what she's doing or she's gonna get killed was so amazing. I loved that aspect of the tense suspicion. And then with Peeta, again, changing up the whole game with the Hunger Games, telling everyone that Katniss is pregnant, like, that was so mind-blowing. And also just the whole thing, like, with building out, like, reaching out to alliances, like Katniss with Finnick and BT, and also the writing in this book was so good. I remember this one distinct scene where I guess like Katniss was at the Central Island in the arena, and there was this one girl I think named Wirus who was like, you know, just talking random stuff. She was mad, she was insane. But what happened is they compared her to a canary, and they went into this flashback with the mines. But then all of a sudden Suzanne Collins was like, the canary stopped singing, and all of a sudden, where the canary, you know, throats was slit, and that means there was danger coming. The canary stopped singing. And so then they had to fight their way out. Like, it was just so well written and so beautifully written, and I just remember that one distinct scene. I also really loved the arena. That was so clever with the whole TikTok clock going on and just the whole different stages, and I loved the Hunger Games part of this book. It was so well thought out by the author again, and you know, it was sad to see all of these tributes like die and stuff, but it was so cool to like see people sacrifice. Like Mags, I love you, girl. Thank you so much for sacrificing yourself for Katniss and Peeta. And then Peeta gave her the pearl. That was so brilliant. And then the most thing that I loved about this book was the ending, where we find out that there was this whole rebellion underneath Katniss the whole time, which was crazy, like seeing her get scooped up and going to District 13. Like, District 13 is alive, Katniss, and then the book ends. It's amazing. And also, District 12 was bombed. Like, everything just spiraled out of control, basically, in this book, and I loved it so much. And just seeing, like, how they had this vision in mind, like how they were planning to rescue Katniss from the arena. It was amazing, and I loved it so much, and I loved how it set up for the last book. It really just increased the uprising, increased the tension, and really well set up for the next book. And again, this book was so good in every single way. I loved it so much. Again, there was this one slow scene that I remember just not liking with Gale getting whipped, and then like it was just kind of slow after that. But I loved everything else. It was so amazing, so well thought out, so well played. I love Catching Fire so much. And now let's talk about Mockingjay. Alright, so let's talk about Mockingjay now by Suzanne Collins. So this book, as you know, is the final book, and this is basically the rebellion's chance to basically overthrow the Capitol. So you basically see Katniss fighting like madness as she signs up to become the Mockingjay with her own terms. We see this propaganda fight where they are trying to air commercials on the Capitol's feed, rile everyone up, take all the districts over, and then go into the Capitol to defeat President Snow. And Katniss is set on defeating and killing President Snow. And there's this whole thing with the rebellion. She has to find out the rebellion, District 13. There's a whole bunch of complications with it, but I love this book so much, and let's get into my thoughts. It's not my least favorite book, but I actually don't know, because I read it recently and I loved it, but it's a little bit slow, and it's a little bit weird, but I still loved it. And just the way the series concludes is crazy. It was a little anticlimactic at the end, which I'll do my little rant of at the end of me talking about this, but let's go from the beginning. We immediately start with Katniss going to District 12, seeing all of her town being bombed and destroyed, and I feel like that just like breaks her, you know, like we see Katniss basically just like break and like be sulky and be sad and be disappointed, and we just see like the Mockingjay's like other side. Like she is really strong, but she also has a heart, and you know, she can't take some of the things that she has to go through. So it's really amazing to see that. I love that aspect of this book. And then we see her volunteer to be the Mockingjay. So yeah, this book was really great. I just love the whole like district thing aspect to it. It kind of reminds me of like a sci-fi book where like there's all these technology and stuff, and like she has to like put her arm on a sensor to get her like schedule and stuff, and there's food and like they have to train and stuff. And I just love seeing like Katniss become a Mockingjay again. Just kind of like sign up to, you know, fight the Capitol and like just, you know, be a boss. Like Katniss was a boss in this one, but I also liked how they kind of brought in the mental trauma of Katniss like being broken. I really enjoyed that aspect of the book because, like, you know, not everything is all good and dandy. Like Katniss is definitely traumatized by her past events, and she's having nightmares, and you know, Peeta was taken from her, and so she's like really messed up. And like just seeing the Capitol kind of affect her, because the Capitol is airing propaganda with Peeta in there, and she sees that like he's getting tortured and stuff, and so it's just really hard for her. But we also see her act in defiance as she you know, signs up to become the Mockingjay, as well as, you know, making all this propaganda, going out to fight, going out to be at peace with some of the you know, district members, having to like take down those planes, and like seeing the hospital like blow up. Like it's a lot, and she has to overcome a lot in this book, and I just really like that aspect, as well as just like the whole last part of it, and like seeing them take over the mountain and seeing them have to do really terrible things to get their mission accomplished. Like not everything's easy. I love that lesson in this book. And the one thing that I will say is Gale broke us all. Gale broke our hearts. He really did the darn thing, didn't he? He helped BT design a bomb. He designed a bomb that would kill Katniss' sister, which was hit in the heart. Let's go back a little bit. I think I talked about the propaganda. I really liked that, how she was like growing, she was strong, and she was showing the Capitol that she was the Mockingjay and showing the other districts. And yeah, that was something that I really liked. But then going into like the Capitol part where they're trying to overtake the Capitol, that was an amazing part. Just seeing like how everyone was like, and like sacrificing themselves for Katniss and for the cause. It was really great, but also really sad, like when Finnick died and when the commander died. It was a lot to handle, but seeing like Peeta come back to Katniss and then Gale being taken away, it was just a lot of stuff, and I did not enjoy the deaths. But just seeing the tension with the, you know, Capitol pronouncing them dead, but then realizing that Katniss was still alive, and then chasing them with the dogs and the mutts and stuff, and it was crazy. And then the last scene, of course, which was kind of anticlimactic, because Katniss was about to storm the house and be like, President Snow, I'm about to kill you, and she's about to kill Snow, but then the bomb killed Prim and also knocked her out. So it was kind of anticlimactic in that sense, which I really didn't like the first time. I would scream about it, I would rant about it, I was so angry about that part the first time I read it. But the second time around, I'm actually a little bit more, you know, fine with it. Like, it was kind of like just a good way to end the series, because if Katniss did end President Snow, it would also not bring in the whole plot point with the coin being the evil person, like the President Coin. So it was just really interesting, and I'm a lot more happy with the ending. You know, Katniss was, again, really traumatized by the events and by her sister's death, and we got to see that. Like, it's not everything is sparkles and rainbows in this world, and I'm glad we got to take that point. And then also see the epilogue where Katniss and Peeta had kids and stuff. Like, that was really amazing. I loved this book so much. And again, some parts were a little dull or boring, and I just didn't enjoy that much, but it was really high action, high paced, high tensions, high suspense. Like, I really enjoyed this book so much. And yeah, I hope I explained all of these books a lot, but I want to wrap up kind of my thoughts with like a general overview of the series. So yeah. Alright guys, welcome to the end of the video. If you clicked off from the non-spoiler part, this is going to be my non-spoiler part, my thoughts about the whole series, my non-spoiler thoughts about the whole series. But yeah, I really enjoyed the Hunger Games series, and I really hope you guys are able to read it, or if you have read it, you enjoyed it, because it's like my favorite series ever now. Like, it was so emotional. It was just so great to see Katniss fight through these books for her family, for her loved ones, for her other people on the earth. Like, it was amazing to see just the twists that Suzanne Collins wrote. Like, at the end of Catching Fire, there's a huge twist. Like, there's huge twists everywhere that just totally game changed the book, and I love that. I love Suzanne Collins' beautiful writing. If you heard what I was talking about in Catching Fire, like, there are some beautiful scenes that had these great analogies or metaphors and just this great figurative language that totally made the series amazing, and I just loved it so much. And then again, just like the setting, the world that Suzanne Collins created was amazing, was beautiful, and was so great to read about. And just like the high emotion, there was so much emotion in this, as there was so many deaths, so many traumatic events that, like, you know, Katniss had to go through, and just seeing her, you know, broken but also strong in her own way. Like, it was just crazy to see her evolve into the Mockingjay that she was, and I can't even believe like just how crazy this series was. It was amazing. And I think that's all I gotta say. I loved Katniss. I love the characters. Suzanne Collins created this beautiful world that I really enjoyed, and it was just an amazing series, and I love it so much. And, you know, I might do some Hunger Games videos because I don't know, I just love them so much. Anyways, I think that wraps up this video. I mean, it was so fun talking about the Hunger Games series. I love the books so much, and I mean, if you couldn't already tell, I love the books, but yeah, I love talking about this topic, and I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. So make sure to comment down below, but make sure you like this video if you enjoyed it and you want to see more reviews. Also, like, suggest what you would want me to review, or any video suggestions, because I am kind of running out of videos to do, so make sure to plop a comment down below. And yeah, like, comments, I would love to hear your comments, and subscribe to my channel for more bookish content. I got lots more books to rave over, got lots more fun bookish videos that I've got planned, so yeah, definitely make sure to subscribe down below. Also, if you want to see my last review, yeah, my camera is flipped for some reason. Okay, anyways, if you want to go up there, that was my last review, my Harry Potter full series review. I did spoilers and non-spoiler sections as well, like I did on here, and yeah, I just love doing these review videos, so yeah, definitely check that out if you want to. But I think that wraps up this video, guys. Anyways, again, thanks y'all so much for the support. I love you so much. Happy reading. Have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye everyone. Love you so much. Happy reading. Love you in the book back.